tonight. Over the last few weeks, we've been going through some of the materials that I have on foundations. And just recently, Janice and I celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary. So what we wanted to do was to share with you some of the lessons that we've learned along the way. Now, what we're going to do is that we are not going to, make this into a long, protracted discussion, but instead we're just going to take kind of like one topic and talk about that. So I don't know how long we'll go, and I don't know all of the details. We're just going to go along for the ride. So we'll get started here in just 1 second, actually 10 seconds. There we go. Hello, Janice. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Did you just finish your pizza for tonight?
Yeah.
So did I. So, matter of fact, I was sitting here at my desk getting set up and trying to get all of that worked out. So I see that Bonnie is with us tonight. So hello, Bonnie. It looks like your comments are working. I know that there was some concern about that, but it looks like we got it all going on. So we celebrated our 50th anniversary the other day. We went out to dinner. That was kind of a bust.
Yeah.
That
It was lunch.
huh?
Wasn't it lunch?
Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, but um I'm from the Midwest, and so it's dinner and supper.
You are not.
I am. I'm from Colorado. That's the Midwest. People used to talk about dinner and supper. so, so but we've been doing a lot of different things along the way since that time, and so and the church gave us a little surprise party last Sunday. That was fun.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and so
It's a
we were.
surprise.
Yeah, it was. But so that was cool. So what I want to do here tonight is talk a little bit about some of these topics. But first of all, let's talk about our photo shoot that we did the other day. So, how cute, how sweet is that? So
Yeah.
I am, not only am I a pastor, but I'm also a professional graphic designer. And I worked at the University of California for many years. And we did a lot of major projects for different organizations and institutions. And we did a lot of projects for the U.S. military, special things that we worked on, particularly with regards to teaching the service members financial management. My boss at the university was a national leader in personal financial management. And so she was really great. She really was. And she was a great person to work with. And I really enjoyed that whole experience. So all throughout much throughout my ministry here in Riverside, I would spend at the university 1 day a week going there and working. So it was a good time for me to kind of like decompress from all of the stuff at the university. Now, I share that because there was a young man that we brought in on one of our projects, Alan Silva, who was a very talented artist and who helped us out with one of our projects there. And he's since gone on to do a lot of great things in his artistic career. But one of the things he does is he takes photographs. So I called him up, or actually I Facebooked him, and I said, hey, how about you do our 50th wedding anniversary shoot? And so that was fun. Tell us a little bit about where we went and what that was all about.
We were headed to Laguna, but then as we got to Crystal Cove, decided to pull in there and go there.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And so took a lot of pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got dinner from the guys. Ran up all those stairs to the Shake Shack and got us dinner.
Yeah.
We ate it at the picnic table facing the ocean.
Yeah. But people who aren't familiar with the area may not know that Crystal Cove is where they filmed an old movie called Beaches, and but it's really it really is a beautiful setting. We've had the
And a
privilege
lot of other movies.
yeah, we've had the privilege of staying there a couple of times, and that was really fun. You know, one anniversary we actually stayed there. We just it's really hard to get a one of the little cottages there. But sometimes, if you just happen to luck out or bless out, that that you can get a cottage. And we did that one anniversary. I don't remember how long ago that was, but it's been quite some time. You know.
Yeah.
So
I know.
so here's one of the photos. He took about, I don't know, 170 photos or something like that.
Wow.
But yeah. But here's another couple. That let's see if I can get those. There we go. so, so, I like I like that one on the right. I don't know exactly what that was in response to, you know.
Probably put your foreheads together.
Yeah,
Or
he had us
sniff
do.
my hair.
Yeah, he had us do different kind of poses that were a little bit awkward for us, and so that we yeah. So actually, Karen Miller says that she didn't know that I worked at the university. Yep, Karen, I did for over probably
21
23
years.
years, 21 years. Yeah,
I thought it was 21.
yeah. I thought it was 23, but I might be wrong.
Maybe.
You know, but. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that experience, and it really helped me. What my job there was a curriculum designer, and so I worked with a team, really a very highly competent team of people who would who designed curriculum, and that really has kind of set me on my journey in my life because I really love creating curriculum, and I'm actually working on a project right now that I hope to roll out here as soon as I can. So well, let's go ahead. Oh, by the way, that second picture, that one picture of us there near the flowers is I'm trying to prevent you from choking me.
Yeah, I can tell.
So, but that was really fun. I really enjoyed it, you know. And when we pulled in, we were concerned that we were just going to, because it was really quite foggy, or at least overcast, and that, but the light cleared up, and it really turned out to be a beautiful day, or evening, sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, all we want to do here is we want to talk about just one thing, and you know, obviously, we're going to maybe kind of go off in different directions when we are talking about that one thing. But how about for you, Janice? You know, and we're talking about just one thing with regards to having a successful marriage. And so, how about for you when it comes to the one thing that you think is most foundational in order to build a successful marriage? What would that be?
You have to put God first.
Yeah, yeah. Why would you say that?
Did you see that bug just flew in front of my face? Like what?
You're easily distracted, or I thought
Sorry.
I thought you were having a seizure. So, so that
No,
why would you say that?
Yeah, I really believe it. I mean, if you want to have a marriage that lasts, if you want to have a marriage that's happy, you need to put God first.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that that, and you just said something actually on our way to get pizza tonight that made me think that that you had been a lifelong Christian, when we got married. So, how old were you?
11.
No, 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 not when we got married. Come on.
Oh, when we got married, I was 19.
That's how
That's how you
rumors get.
married for 50 years. You marry young.
That's how rumors get started. So, but so, but you were raised in a Christian family, and you made your own personal commitment to Christ at age 11, and so then you were 19 when we married. I was a
20.
huh?
I was almost 20.
Yeah, and I was a seasoned older man who was 20.
Yeah.
You know, but I had only been a Christian for a couple of years, maybe 3.
Yeah.
You know. I became a Christian when I was 17,
That's
and
3.
yeah. So but yeah, I thoroughly agree with you. Now, I believe that people can have a successful marriage who aren't Christians. You know, there's a lot of people that do. Matter of fact, a lot of people who are not Christians have better marriages than some people who are Christians. You
Yeah.
know, but I'm thoroughly convinced that putting God first in your life is foundational to truly developing a lifelong marriage that has the potential for being the fullest that it can be. There's a passage of scripture that when we were growing up in the church, people talked about it a lot. You know, it's kind of one of those things that people don't talk a lot about now, but it says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. 2 Corinthians 6:14, and that's in the New King James Version of the Bible. There are, other translations that give the same concept, but that concept of being unequally yoked, what do you think that means?
It's if one of you is a Christian and one of you is not, then you're going to have problems.
Yeah. I've known some Christians over the years who have subscribed to the policy of missionary dating. So,
Yeah.
they,
Doesn't always work.
yeah, they would go out and find somebody who isn't a Christian, but they liked that person anyway, and they kind of now, and sometimes it does work. Got your dog in there making all those squeaky noises, but it's not a hard fast rule, but it certainly is. It can be a dangerous practice. So, but here's why I think that this is so important. I think it's important to find the reason why it's important for people to for Christians for us to marry Christians, as Christians to marry Christians, is because you need to have your partner, their value system, to map I guess clearly with yours. Actually, clearly with Christ's. So if your partner is committed to Christ and you're committed to Christ, you both are committed to the same value system. And that foundation is one that will outlast and see you through all the ups and downs in marriage. So, but I've seen preachers talk about it this way, is that, let's see if I can get my hands positioned correctly. It's always a challenge. Let's see. Oh,
Right?
that's this finger here. Okay, there we go. So that you start off like this, and as you aim towards drawing closer and closer to Jesus, is that you draw closer and closer to one another in the process. And so I believe that that is the way it works. So, all right. If that's the case, why are so many Christian marriages such a disaster?
I guess because I shouldn't have said you need to be a Christian. You need to be Christ-like. I mean, I maybe
Yeah.
there's no difference in that, but like a lot of people say they're a Christian, but then the way they treat one another, not good.
Yeah. Yeah. that's kind of the nice way of putting it. Is that the way
Mm-hmm.
that they treat one another? Not good. You know, there's a passage of scripture that that Jesus talks about in the Sermon on the Mount. Now, a lot of folks, nowadays they don't know anything about the Bible, but the Sermon on the Mount just simply means that Jesus was on an elevated geographical feature when he delivered that sermon. There's also actually in the Gospel of Luke the Sermon on the Plain. So, Plain. you know. So, but
Yeah, we thought you were talking about debt.
oh, shut up. but but here's what Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount. He says, "Treat others as you want them to treat you." Or do unto others, as we have heard it said before. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Man, if more Christians practice that religiously in their homes, their marriages would improve.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the
Or
ways?
look at
Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 13 and all the things that love is and is
Mm-hmm.
not, that love is not. And,
Mm-hmm.
so many marriages that I've been hearing about lately, like they're so into making sure that their wife is submitting
Yeah.
that they forget everything else,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that I hear of how some of the men treat their wives, I'm just like, I know God doesn't love divorce, but it's not the unforgivable sin, you
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it'd be good for us to maybe devote an entire broadcast to that topic because I think that it's really confused
mm-hmm.
amongst a lot of people, and that and so why don't we circle back to that? We'll kind of put a pin in it, as folks like to say, and we'll come back to it. What other ways? Give me maybe two or three that treat others as you would have them, as you want them to treat you. Give me a couple or three.
I'm not sure what you're trying to get me to say.
I'm not trying to get you to say anything. Okay? Here's the question: is that give me some examples of ways that you like to be treated.
I like to be treated with respect,
Mm-hmm.
with love, um, with kindness.
Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, you hit on two of the three. Yeah. Well, okay. At least one. Yeah. Um, in that passage of scripture in the book of, in 1 Corinthians 13, is that kindness bubbles up right to the top
Mm-hmm.
of the qualities of love. It's interesting that nowhere in the Bible does it ever define love for us. It just describes it. And of course, we see it modeled profoundly in the person of Christ, who is God with us. And we see that the lengths to which he goes to seek the welfare of the other, That Yeah, for me, kindness, respect, those are at the top of my list. Um, I like it when people are patient with me, because sometimes it's easy when somebody is annoyed that and this is not a direct or a veiled insult towards you, okay? So, but, but when a person is annoyed with another, for them to not be patient with the other, you know.
Yeah.
Um, here's here's a good concept to remember. Is just because you're not receiving what you want from the other doesn't let you off the hook to give better than what you're receiving. You know. And so hey, I see that Dan Mackey has joined us tonight, and so I'm glad that you have joined in tonight, Dan. That we talked about having a Christ-centered home, and we talked about treating others as you would want them to treat you.
Excuse me.
How about this? And then we'll wrap it up tonight, because I want to come back to, there's so many topics that I want to talk about. But and I'm sure there are some that you want to talk about. And by the way, if you're watching tonight, you might want to put in the comment section what you would like to hear us talk about, and then we can talk a little bit about those. But coming back to this concept of treating others the way you want them to treat you. How about with respect to conflict? How do you want to be treated?
Same, like respectful, kind. I want to be listened to and heard. Not judged. I don't know.
To be patient, you know, to not be treated harshly, you know, to not be called names.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and not to be told, "You're just like your father."
Right.
Or you're just like your mother, you know. When people
Right.
say that, it's never you know. It's never
Well, they're not referring to the best part of your parent.
No. You know, you're just like your mother. You're a wonderful cook. You know? So, all right. We're going to come back to this theme again and again until we kind of like say that's enough, you know. But anything that you would like to say on this particular topic of making Christ the foundation of your home before we wrap up tonight?
Well, I think in the hardest part, I think for us, and I think you would agree, has been communicating conflict. And I mean, it's been an ongoing lesson our whole life, you know. And I think
have we mastered it?
I was going to say, I think we keep getting better at it, but no.
Yeah.
You know, I was telling someone the other day, they were like, oh, having an argument with their husband or whatever. And I said, well, here's something I've done probably like last year. So year 49, I felt like I needed to tell you something, but I was having a hard time explaining it. And then when I'm being interrupted all the time, I just get all off track and everything. So I sent you an email. Remember?
Yes, I remember. You know.
because then you can like really
I know.
articulate exactly what you're trying to say.
Hmm.
You can, write a sentence and then go, no, that doesn't sound good. Take that off. I should say it like this,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
until you get it just right. And then you just send it in an email. And I
Yeah.
did that. You emailed me back.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, if you get nasty or really snippy in an email and you read it yourself, it's kind of it's telling, I mean, and so it's better to kind of take, let the steam out of things before you start communicating,
I think the best thing that I learned about communicating was using I statements,
Hmm.
so that I'm not just like, you make me so mad. You always do that. You don't listen to me. I still say that. And he doesn't. And he doesn't listen to me.
Hey now, hey now, this is
But
not an opportunity for you to dump on me in public.
hey, it's just a reality.
Yeah,
But like um I mean, where's my train of thought?
that's all right. Yeah, I statements.
Oh yeah. Because if you sit there and
See,
you
I
just,
was listening to you.
yeah, thank you. If you use I statements, then it takes kind of the wind out of the cells, the angry cells that your
Hmm.
mate was probably having toward you right then. If you just say, like, hey, I'm really feeling like, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
and when you said this, it made me feel like this.
Hmm.
And that has really helped me in communicating, not only just with you, but just with people.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm. We're gonna deal with conflict, and actually, matter of fact, that I'm developing, and it's not a so much of a plug, or maybe it is. I don't know, but I'm developing a webinar where I'm going to do a whole conflict management course. I mean, a series, and
Hmm.
I'm working on that with my daughter Karen, and so I hope to have that ready to go. I have a lot of the content done. I have the promo stuff done. I just need to finish off the landing page so people can register for that event. But so I'm looking forward to that. So,
Well,
all right, cool. Well, thank you so much, Janice, for meeting with me tonight, because I know that this type of stuff is not always within your comfort zones.
right. Write
But
in the comments if you think that Kerry and I should plan this a little bit better before we start speaking.
no, I think that the impromptu, if we don't know it by now after 50 years, we don't know it. You know. And one thing I am going to do is that I'm going to be sure as we go along, I'm going to share some more slides from our photo shoot. And we
Did
have a,
not
huh?
share any, my mouth wide open.
we have we have a couple classics from the photo shoot. And so those will be coming up in some future broadcast. So, all right, Janice. Well, it's been wonderful. It really has, this journey that we've been on together for so many years. I'm not saying that it's been perfect, but then again, you wouldn't say that either. So,
Yeah.
but, but it has been wonderful. So,
Well, if you quit too soon, you don't know how good it can get. Like
oh,
people
that's
don't
good.
understand.
That's good. Hmm.
Like they bail before instead of learning how to work through stuff, they bail and then they miss out on the whole, you know, just being best friends that live together.
Yeah. And and if you quit too soon, like I love what you said about that. If you quit too soon, you never discover how good it can be,
Hmm.
and but you also never discover the important lessons you needed to learn working
Hmm.
through difficult problems, because
Mm-hmm.
all right, I'm going to just stop there because I can say a lot about that, but I'm not. You know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up again. Once again, Janice, thank you for who
You're
you
welcome.
are and all that you've done. So, so friends, thanks for joining us tonight. That I enjoyed my conversation with Janice, and we are going to continue to explore some of these topics. You know, one of the things that you might want to do is tell your friends about these broadcasts. And you can also share the links where you're watching, whether that's on Facebook or on YouTube. And if you find something to be helpful or that you think would be beneficial for another, pass that along. So that's it for now. I hope you'll join us next time. Bye.